right. Most investors waste hours chasing deals, dead leads, cold lists, empty doors, and they've tried the same boring skip tracing. But what if you had a tool that showed you exactly which properties to target, exactly how to contact the owner, and what to say before your competition even knows it's a deal? That's what DealMachine is built. And today we've got Matt Camp here. He's been at the front lines as they've evolved from a very simple driving for dollars app to a full-blown off-market lead machine using predictive data and now AI. So we are talking about smarter, targeting faster, better outreach, and real investor stacking wins without wasting time. So whether you're solo or scaling, this episode is for you to shortcut finding off-market deals that actually close. Let's get into it. Welcome to the Closers Club. Matt, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, David, absolutely, man. I appreciate you always bringing me on, and again, excited to have fun today here.
Cool. Let's get right into it. So you guys have this new feature where investors can upload their own deals, and then DealMachine starts showing them the exact types of properties that they're most likely to close next. Can you kind of break that down for us? And exactly how does that work in the real world for somebody trying to land more off-market deals in less time, which is every single investor out there?
Yeah, right. So yeah, that's our goal always on our side is to be able to how can we divide, bring you higher quality lists, higher quality data at a quicker way, and really give technology that delivers that as fast as possible, where you can spend your time on what actually matters, which is talking to those sellers and doing deals, right? So our goal is to get out of the way, really, in the end, like in that way. But what I would say on our side, so a lot of what we talk about, we've had almost 15,000 deals done using DealMachine at this point by our customers. We have a ton of just success stories and data and things we can share saying, hey, here's what's working in today's market. And a big part of it too is staying on that cutting edge and embracing things like AI as a super productivity tool where we can help you come in and give you that cutting edge that other people don't have in your market. And so one big part of that is, hey, you can go into it and I love that you jump right in of one of our new features there. We've only had this out, 8-9 months even, and we're always refining it. On our side, we have an AI vision builder now where you can go into DealMachine and you can do exactly what you said. You could say, hey, here's a deal that I did, or even a deal that I've seen done recently in a particular area. And so, hey, you know what? I'm in St. Louis. I'm using DealMachine locally, myself practicing what we preach. For example, I'll go into there and I'll say, hey, you know what? We did a deal in Kirkwood last year. Great. It ended up working out great. Everybody win all the way around. Everybody was excited. We then went back into DealMachine and said, hey, show me everything else in Kirkwood, St. Louis, Missouri area that looks like this deal. And so you can go in, you pop open the AI vision on our map. So we've got a DealMachine map showing property data for every property in the U.S. You can select your geographic area. So I selected the zip code of Kirkwood right there. And then I said, hey, here's my last deal I did here. I want to do more of these. And so you can enter in that address.
Just give me the good stuff.
Exactly. Just give me the good stuff. Take, the 12,000 properties in the zip code and turn it into, a couple hundred that fit my, pick out those needles in the haystack, right? That fit this persona, this avatar we're looking for.
Yeah.
And so you put that in there, you put in an address, then we'll go in, we've got about 700 plus at this point, over 700 data points that it can filter through. And it's everything about the property itself, all kinds of property data, the situation it's in, both the property and the owner of it. It has access to that owner data as well, the homeowner kind of consumer info to be able to look and say, hey, here are similar profiles, right, that fits your deal. And then on top of that, you have the contact data as well. So it's looking through all of that. And what we've combined with that now is visual data. So it'll actually go through and say, hey, here's the Street View image on Google. Here is the satellite image. Here are these images that, it might be, most markets, most major markets, they're maybe a year or two old for a lot of those neighborhoods. So they're slightly old, not the exact data that you're getting that day, right? But being able to layer that on top and say, hey, here's what that property condition was in. Here's all the other data points that fit your last deal, and then kind of model match based on that and say, here's the ones that fit the closest to that we can really predict will be deals next. And that's something that we've been continuing to get better and better and better at. And AI today is the worst that these AI models are going to be, right? They get literally every day. So that's we want you guys to embrace that as a tool.
So I love that. And it's just, God, it's so far ahead of where it was even 5 years ago, right? I mean, none of this existed then. But with all of this so dependent on the data and AI, like how good is the data, I guess, is really the question everybody always wants to know. And, how accurate are you seeing it when it's pulling all of these things together and layering on the photos?
Yeah, so I'll say one great pro tip for that. The first question I always get is, "Hey, these photos are a little bit older, like you said."
Sure.
One great pro tip to be able to avoid that and weed out the ones that aren't as relevant is if you
Yeah.
also layer in the last sale date, right? Because if it's a property that hasn't been transacted on since that photo was taken,
Yeah.
the probability that's in similar shape is really high.
Probably.
So
Yeah.
so what you can do is you can layer on and say, hey, show me the properties that haven't sold in the
Mhm.
last 2 years or
Yeah.
3 years, however old the photo is. That's going to help you kind of really layer
Mhm.
down the data source and really nail what you're looking for there. But overall, from a data perspective, that is something we have doubled and tripled down on. Like,
Nice.
it was a little less than 2 years ago we launched that unlimited free skip tracing feature, right? We threw that out.
Huge. Rocked
Yeah,
the industry with that.
yeah, made a huge bet of like, hey, can we make a no-brainer offer to people to at least try us out, at least go in there and experience it? And do we have the confidence that when they start to experience it, they're going to love it? They're going to say, hey, this fits my needs. This is going to help me go do more deals, and they'll see it as an investment instead of an expense, and they'll stay
Right.
with us and keep going. And so that was something we launched a few months in. We quickly realized like that was a good call. We are having great traction from that.
Mhm.
We last year in 2024 we saved our customers $19 million in
Whoa.
consideration costs. So like it's crazy how we've evolved from, we started off as a Driving for Dollars app. You can still do that with us.
Yeah.
But we have doubled and tripled down on data and being seen as a go-to data source for homeowner data, the homeowner themselves, the consumer, the property, and then that contact data. So in terms of our data quality, like that is where we are constantly reinvesting into the company. We are always coming out with new sources like this AI, vision, like I'm talking about here,
Yeah.
and updated system-wide daily. So you're getting the most fresh data, refreshing every single day.
Yeah, you were telling me before we jumped on about how big your team is, and they're spread out all over the country. So that's a
Mhm.
lot of people working behind the scenes every day to make sure that this is, there to help your clients. Let me ask you this, because you've been doing this for a long time and you're a real investor yourself, what's kind of the biggest mistake that you see investors making right now when they're maybe in general or when they're using the DealMachine app, right? Like the biggest thing that they're not maybe doing right to get these off-market deals.
Yeah, for sure. And I think in general, so there's always a million. You'll hear, oh, this year this is the hot new marketing channel, or this year this is the hot new marketing channel.
Yeah.
I could
Yeah.
throw out a bunch of ones right now that are kind of
Right.
like the
Right.
hot new marketing channel, right? Regardless, across the board, they all can work.
Sure.
The major thing that people do is they try something out and then
Mhm.
they give up on it so fast, and they are not consistent at all. In terms of really doing that justice for that marketing channel. And
Mhm.
so like you can get deals through direct mail. You can get deals through calling. We've had people use it for text. We've had people use it for, email. We've had door knocking. You see digital now. You see all these different areas that people
Mhm.
can invest in for marketing, and they all kind of go in cycles of what is that new trendy thing, right? But
Yeah.
like I said, from a consistency standpoint, that's what you can't beat. Like if you can go out there and stick with something and focus and do, not just chase shiny objects, but hey, I'm going to own direct mail. I'm gonna get really good at that. I'm going to own cold calling. I'm gonna get really good at that. I'm going to own email, whatever the channel is. We see people, especially if you're newer and haven't done that first deal, it's really easy to get caught up in, oh, here's the hot new thing, right? Like
Yeah.
be consistent and focus and really execute. And that's where, we see that those wins start to stack up. So
Nice. I love that. Having focus is so incredibly important, right? Like I've been doing this for too long. And the thing that I've seen of people who, leave the industry or the ones that bounce out, it's storage units, it's lease options, it's wholesaling, it's, whatever. They're just all over the map. But within kind of from behind the scenes, show us behind the curtain a little bit, what is that feature that your clients are using the most within DealMachine and that's giving them, the highest level of success?
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing we're just so incredibly confident in is our contact data.
Really?
It's something that where we see that unfair advantage, quote unquote, in your market is the combination of, yes, there's the property data. That's always great to be able to go in and search by, the parameters around a property. There's that consumer, the homeowner data. So you can look and see seller motivations. You can see more about those individuals, the situation they're in. There's a ton of little individual data points I can share there. Like one pro tip that I love is our building condition data. I think is really, really
Oh,
solid as well.
tell me about that. How do you nail down building condition, or tell me more about that?
Yeah, so I mean that one specifically is county assessor level data, and so you
Mhm.
can go in there, and it's the same idea of driving for dollars, of finding the outside building condition, and what is that, is this anywhere from poor all the way through to excellent. There's like a seven layer rating scale that you get.
Wow.
It's a great data point to throw on there and say, hey, just show me properties that aren't in great shape according to the county assessor. And the vast majority of counties that we've looked in here have pretty darn good data. Like we actually drive around, and I'll go in St. Louis. Like I said, I'm doing deals locally, and
Yeah.
I'll go to add a lead, and driving for dollars, and I'll look and see, oh man, it was already pinned because of our county assessor data is really good here. So
Yeah.
that I can share a lot of kind of little pro tips there.
Mhm.
But the big thing is, okay, great. Once you've identified those things, that third thing that is absolutely crucial is that contact info. It's the
Mm.
phone numbers, it's the emails, it's being able to reach out and be confident in that, hey, this is going to be a great match rate, which I know we're at an industry leading 95% contact match rate for single
Holy
family
smokes.
nationwide. So you're getting phone numbers and emails for them. And we have people using our dialer or exporting the data. If they're doing it super high volume, we see people export the data like that. But
Yeah.
we've got a dialer inside the machine. And for our highest volume cold callers last quarter, it was like a 25 to 29% pickup rate for those calls, which is like
That's a
over
ton.
double. Yeah,
Yeah.
over double the industry average. Like that is really, really good. So we can share that testament of, hey, people are getting phone numbers, they're calling them, they're getting they're getting conversations going. And
Mm.
so, no matter what you're looking at from a data standpoint, if you can't get in touch with that person, what
Yeah.
is it worth, right? And so we want to always make sure we are the best out there at that specific thing. In addition to being able to give you great lists to actually go out
Yeah.
there and work. So
Nice. What is it that sets you guys apart from just, anybody else that's out there providing lists? Or I know there are some people
yeah.
that try to have a little driving for dollars app, and I've used them. They're pretty crappy. But you got, what is it, what is it that sets you guys apart?
Yeah, I mean, I think a couple things that can make us different than anything else out there. Well, one is the experience. You kind of alluded to it right there, but it's the actual being able to go in there and use it efficiently, use it effectively, use it quickly. Like
Mhm.
we want you in and out and be able to use that in a way that is intuitive, right? So the actual user experience is a big deal to us,
Mhm.
both on desktop and on mobile, so web and mobile, right? So using it in that way. Outside of that, I mean, just from a cost perspective, I know just from looking at our data, like that contact info, say you were going to go in and use DealMachine at a high level quickly and export our data. I mean, it's literally, you're looking at less than half a cent per export. And if you're exporting our data with
Mhm.
contact info, with property info, with consumer info, like all that included in there. So from a pricing standpoint and usability standpoint, those are two of the first things that we really focus on
Yeah.
and are always innovating on, both on like we talked about, different data points you can get, as well as new features of how to leverage that data,
Yeah.
and reach out through marketing. And then outside of that as well, I know we really double down on our support in our community. Like
Yeah.
that's something we hear over and over again is, hey, we really care. Like we care about your success. We really want you to go out there and do deals. And we host live calls every single week, like you would come on in the past, of
Yeah.
just bringing on guests that talk about not DealMachine at all, just
Mhm.
something in the real estate space to
Yeah.
make you better at this game, right? Make you better at using this, and not just using our tool, but making your business more successful long term. So
Yeah.
from a support standpoint, we really double down on that. We have office hours daily, 4 days a week. We get back to you in 15 minutes or less through our chat. So we've got a ton there in support and community, as well as the product itself. So I think on all those levels, we're super confident in what we're delivering there. So
I will tell you, it's having great support is just priceless. Even yesterday, I was on the phone with the bank for almost an hour and just get transferred from one person to the other. Couldn't get my problem solved. But the having that community and the Facebook groups and those calls, so important, because there are investors that are out there and maybe they're doing this on their own and they're solo, and just having that place where they can go and just be around other people who are all fighting the same fight and on the same journey, and seeing the wins, and it gets super inspiring. One thing I wanted to ask you about, Matt, is I think a lot of people just envision like DealMachine, it's for like the solo investor or somebody who's maybe just getting started and out there trying to do stuff. But I know you have a lot of big teams
Mhm.
on on the platform. So how are those elite investors using DealMachine to really scale beyond the 1 and 2 person kind of show, right? Like,
Yep.
is it like bird dogs or VAs? Like, what does that kind of system look like that they're using? And are they using more of the app or the desktop?
Yeah, that's a great question. And that's probably the area we've evolved the most in as well, right? Like we still can cater to the newbie. We have a ton of people who are brand new to real estate that will come in and use our mobile app to drive for dollars. And then they'll go into the desktop and send mail with it, or they'll cold call with it, because again, every lead you add in DealMachine, every property you add, you get phone numbers and emails, and you have direct mail, one click to send. So you've got all this right there for you at a crazy low cost for the newbie, which is great to be able to cater to them and have them level up with us and start doing deals and move up to that advanced investor, right? And so we started there. Over time, we've really evolved to provide all these unique data points. That's what the more advanced investors using us for, is they're coming in and quickly building a list. I mean, we've got, like I mentioned, 700 plus data filters to work with now to be able to go in and filter by and build a list very, very quickly, do it on broader and broader scales. The performance of how fast you can pull those lists is night and day compared to even like 2 years ago with us. So our more advanced investor, that's how they're coming in and really using us is going through that, and then leveraging our contact information to actually get in front of people. And whether they're using our dialer, we have a power AI powered dialer inside DealMachine that you can click to call, or they're exporting into like a multi-line dialer and just feeding our data into that and calling with that. The more advanced team can use us in that way too. Right. So we built out, we kind of have this ability now to build out custom plans of DealMachine to help solve those data needs. Whether I know our Pro Plus level, you can export up to like 60,000 properties.
Ooh,
right? So you can still use that self-service, and then I can build out things above that if people have larger needs with larger teams or a larger headcount as well. So yeah, I mean, I think like our more advanced investors are probably using the desktop more than the web, right? And they're doing all of those things around building the lists, pulling data, getting contact info. And then our newbie into growing investor are using in tandem with the mobile app around driving for dollars and finding things that way.
So man, you can pull lists, you can evaluate properties, you've got the AI, you've got the dialer. It sounds like DealMachine is literally the only software that somebody would need to get their business up and running.
Yeah, that's the goal right there is hey, we want to come in and all things real estate data and lead gen, like be your go-to tool to help you go do more deals. So
nice. That's absolutely unbelievable. Let me ask you this kind of as a last big question here. If you had to start from scratch, like just somebody coming in brand new, they're just getting into real estate, they read Rich Dad Poor Dad, they're watching some videos, and let's say they've got $500, right? But no team, it's just them. Like if you were them or you were advising them, like obviously they want to get DealMachine. I know you have a free trial, that we've got here that we'll promote in a second, but what are the steps that you would give them like today to get that first deal going?
Yeah. So the crash course, essentially jumping in, we actually did, we have a video on our YouTube channel as well. If you want to check out our YouTube, we're really, really active on there. More of an in-depth demo walkthrough, actually showing us using the software. And it was me kind of going through the software click for click with it. I'll say, I think we got Rich Dad. We got Rich Dad back there too. So I definitely was in that boat of what inspired me to get into real estate too. But I'll say, in general, especially if you're a newbie, you're looking for, hey, how do I find the most likely deal to close, right, in my market, and for the least amount of cost? And really, everybody using DealMachine, there's kind of a spectrum of, hey, do I have a little more budget and I can really go in there quickly and use my budget efficiently, but invest in that way? Or do I have a little more hustle? Can I go out there and want to go out and get the lowest cost deal and do it for as close to $0 as possible and really put time and hustle into it? So the newbie tends to fall more in that direction.
Sure. That's where I started.
Exactly. Go in there and, hey, use driving for dollars. That's still going to be your number one performing list. It takes the longest to build, but that's for a reason. It's, hey, you're going out there and you're driving your area and you're looking for physically distressed properties, and you're using the mobile app to do that. So you're and adding properties that way. You're finding, again, the number one leading indicator of a property that's looking to sell is the physical condition of it. So driving for dollars, that's how you find those. And then also, in addition to that, you can also find the least competitive leads as well, because you actually do the work and the hustle that other people aren't willing to go do. And so the newbie, I would say, go drive for dollars. We have virtual driving on DealMachine as well. So if you're in a place that you're not physically based in, but you want to invest, you're living in St. Louis, but you want to invest in Columbus, Ohio, or do a deal there, you can jump on our virtual driving and click for dollars. So you've got that option for you too. We do have an AI driving for dollars option as well, but it costs a little bit to actually pay for the AI, essentially.
Right.
But if you're looking for the lowest cost option, I would say virtual and in-person driving for dollars there. Build your list that way. And then again, you've got phone numbers right there. They come with it. Start calling them. You've got email addresses right there. Start reaching out via email. Send direct mail if you can build a little bit of budget up or do that first deal, first couple. So the playbook is, hey, go build a great list and then consistently market to that list. And the cheapest way to do that would be those, that kind of quick little crash course there.
Matt, I think what you guys are doing is amazing. All of the tools and things that have come out. It just compresses time for us, right? We don't have to drive around, right? Now we've got the virtual driving for dollars, and then the AI driving, and being able to pull the list and pull the phone numbers and the emails and all those things, right? It just, you guys are doing everything you can just to make it so that the investor is spending time doing the things that actually matter, which is talking to sellers, talking to buyers, and actually getting those deals under contract, and then hopefully they'll bring them over to us at Easy REI Closings, and we'll get them closed for them.
There we go. Love it. Great combo there.
Awesome. Matt, thank you so much for coming on, man. I appreciate it. I always have such a good time with you. It's such a big believer in everything that you guys are doing at DealMachine. Again, I put in the chat here. We've got a link that goes directly to DealMachine, and I think they get a little free trial. What all do we get here?
Yeah, so you get 7 days free just to try it out, see if it's a good fit for you. Really get in there and start using all these features we covered today. And then you actually get bonus marketing credits with that as well. So it's going to cover like 500 free minutes for using the dialer. It'll cover about 50 free postcards to send direct mail. So it's, hey, we want you to go in there, start using the data, start using it for list building and dollars, and then just start marketing to homeowners. And hey, go do that first deal, hopefully free on us right there. So.
Awesome. I love it. Again, my friend, thank you so much. Guys, if you enjoyed this, click the like, share, subscribe, share it with a friend, and make sure that you get the DealMachine app. It's absolutely amazing. If you're just getting started, it will help you get out of the starting gate. If you're running an existing team, the data and all of the benefits that they've got there, it's absolutely amazing. So, Matt, thank you so much, sir.